Welcome. Today I'll be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing on the October 16th readings of Courage to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I'll start with a little time for myself. October 16th. Just take a minute to read it to myself. The question of the day is, what am I holding on to today that is not mine to change? The passage is about when this person started going to Al-Anon because their son's rehab counselor recommended it. That there was some resentment because the person felt like because of their son's addiction that they were having to do something else and their life was already crazy. And the first thing that this person learned with that was that Al-Anon was for them, their recovery, not their loved one's recovery. So this person started working on themselves and left their son to his higher power. Then it says, today's reminder, trusting our higher power leaves us to focus on changing the only thing that we can, ourselves. And the quote is talking about how no matter what no matter what stage of recovery our loved one is in, the time for us to begin our recovery is now. So back to the question, what am I holding on to today that is not mine to change? Not a whole heck of a lot, because I have been in Al-Anon for 11 years and I'm learning not to get involved if it doesn't have anything to do with me. And I constantly have to remind myself, but something happened today that made me realize that I am making big progress. There was a rather large blowout at the thrift shop this morning with some of the other volunteers, and I didn't get involved at all. I have no idea what it was about. I don't intend to find out. It doesn't have anything to do with me. And so, like, it's not in me. In fact, I'm getting kind of used to them having, but the sad part is it happened in front of customers, which makes customers very uncomfortable. But when it happened, I realized the radio wasn't on, and I turned on the radio and just kept on going about my business. So, although I'm not holding on to anything today that is not mine to change, that I'm aware of, I am constantly reassessing that to make sure that I'm not taking on anything that isn't mine. I'm thinking of something that happened yesterday too, where I did get involved in something that had nothing to do with me, and I realized that I shouldn't have. And once I realized that I had made a mistake, I apologized right then and there. But it was like quick. I did it. I realized I was wrong and I apologized. And every time that happens, I hope that that's, that I think of that as progress, and I hope that those times will happen less frequently and less frequently. And I feel like that's true. It doesn't happen very frequently because I'm learning. So, awesome reading today and a little time for myself as usual. Moving on to Courage to Change, October 16th. I'll take a minute to read this to myself. This reading is about taking care of ourselves, and it gives specific suggestions about what to do when a stressful situation is going on, but we've done all we can possibly do. It says take a walk, listen to music, meet a friend for coffee and conversation, eat something nutritious, sit quietly and meditate, read a book, bubble bath, massage, an Al-Anon call, a bike ride, a nap. Even though we're powerless to change the circumstances, we are certainly not helpless. We can do something good for ourselves. We can treat ourselves with love and tenderness. We always have the opportunity to feel good even when we're surrounded by chaos. And in today's reminder, it says it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, our mind, body, and spirit. And the quote, this part of recovery is giving myself permission to let go and relax. And that's a beautiful reminder. And I'm reminded that when I do that, it's not that I am ignoring a terrible situation. It's that I have no control over the situation. So I am sending love. I am asking my higher power for help. I am accepting and loving of the person rather than the problem. And I'm nurturing myself and just making the best out of an uncomfortable situation. I would say it's easy to talk about when I'm not in crisis. It's much more challenging when something is happening that I find really troublesome. But reading this when I'm not in crisis is very helpful because I'm definitely absorbing it, and if and when needed, I will remember this. And of course I've read this page at least 10 times, but it's a great page. It doesn't have any markings, but it's a beautiful, beautiful page. I really appreciate it. Courage to Change. We'll close out now with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.